So, have you ever just called yourself an introvert and kind of left it at that? Well, today we're going to dig a little deeper. We're peeling back that label to figure out what's really going on under the surface.
So let me ask you something straight up to get us started. Are you really sure you're an introvert, or could it be something else? Something you might actually have more control over than you think? First things first, let's bust some myths. Because honestly, introversion is one of the most misunderstood personality traits out there.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how common these ideas are. Look, being an introvert doesn't mean you're antisocial or that you hate people. It definitely doesn't mean you lack confidence, and it absolutely doesn't mean you can't enjoy a really deep, engaging conversation. In fact, a lot of the time, that's exactly what true introverts are looking for.
Okay, so if it's not about all of that, what is it about? This brings us to the most important point of this entire explainer, the huge fundamental difference between introversion and social anxiety. It all comes down to energy versus fear. Let's start with introversion. The best way to think about it is like a social battery. An introvert can be amazing in social situations, totally on, but afterward, they need to plug into some quiet time. They need a moment to think, reflect, and get that energy back. So the key here is, it is a preference for how you recharge, not a fear of the situation itself. Now, social anxiety, that's a whole different animal. It has absolutely nothing to do with your energy source. It is driven 100% by fear. Specifically, the fear of being judged negatively by other people. It's this constant, draining worry about what everyone else might be thinking about you. And this is what that voice of fear sounds like. It's that little critic living in your head, second-guessing every single thing. It makes you replay conversations over and over, assuming the worst. And let me tell you, it is absolutely exhausting. All right, so let's make this super practical. We're going to drop into a real-world scenario that, let's be honest, many of us dread, the networking event. This is where you can really see the two different mindsets in action. So picture it. You walk into this room and it's buzzing with people. You immediately feel that little pang of nervousness. You hesitate. You start overthinking where to even go. So what's your go-to move? You pull out your phone. It's our modern-day social shield, right? We've all done it. But the real question is, why are you doing it?
And this right here, this is the light bulb moment. The reason behind pulling out that phone is what tells the whole story. The introvert's mind is thinking, okay, I just need a quiet second to charge up my battery before I dive in. But the socially anxious mind, it's screaming, I need to escape. I have to get out of here before I completely embarrass myself. See the difference? One is about managing energy. The other is all about managing fear.
Now, if you recognize that voice of fear just now, here's the really empowering part. This is not a fixed personality trait you're stuck with forever. So let's talk about the path to growth, how we move from just being aware of this to taking real, powerful action. This is basically your roadmap. It all starts with step 1, self-awareness, just noticing the assumptions you're making. From there, you can start to challenge that negative voice in your head. And then, step 3, you recognize that your mind is just predicting rejection, even though there's no actual evidence for it. This takes discipline for sure, learning to stay in those uncomfortable moments instead of running. And finally, you have to deal with the physical side of it all. And yeah, it's not just a mind game. It's so physical. That racing heart, the sweaty palms, that's your nervous system going into overdrive. But simple things can make a huge difference. Controlled breathing literally tells your brain, hey, we're safe. Grounding exercises, like just feeling your feet on the floor, pull you back into your body. And even just consciously slowing down your speech, it can calm your whole system down before your thoughts get a chance to spiral. Which brings us to a final, really important question to think about. How do we tell the difference between who we are at our core and just a behavioral pattern that we've learned over time? This quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. It is such an empowering idea, isn't it? That feeling of being stuck, that statement we all make, oh, that's just how I am, it might not be the whole truth. It might just be a pattern. And the great thing about patterns is they can be changed. So we'll leave you with this to reflect on. That social hesitation you feel, is it truly a fixed part of your personality? Or is it a pattern of fear and avoidance that you actually have the power to change? Just knowing the difference is the first step. And growth? Well, that's what comes next.